Can everybody hear me? Okay. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Midnight TCG and the locals here. Um, Midnight Circuit locals, right? We do these every Tuesday. Every other Tuesday. We had to skip last week or the last time we were supposed to do it due to participation, but we're here and we are ready to go. Today we have a special one. We have a monocolor tournament. So I know things between set 4 and EBO1 and GDO5 are kind of getting a little stagnant. So we decided that we are doing something special and something different. So this will be the first ever that I know of streamed monocolor Gundam TCG tournament. So I'm super excited. Everybody in the Discord has been super excited to do this, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a good time. Some interesting deck lists that I've seen so far, and some interesting things that are going to happen here. But it's been super fun. It's been super cool to hype up and talk about and go over for weeks now. So we'll get into that in a second, right? First, as always, let's go ahead and go over our sponsors and our supporters because we love them. So, first to start, right, Misfit Games, and again, they were super crucial in our first giveaway for our 1,000 subscriber limit or hit, and they were super good. So if you guys are ever in the New York area, please go visit Misfit Games. Also go to misfitgames.com and buy some product from them. They're super awesome, super great guy, shop owner Tyler. So he's gearing up for GDO5, and it's going to be a super good time. So go hit them up. Also, my local LGS here, Funhouse 51 Collectibles here in Lancaster, California. I always shout them out. I love this shop. I love the owner, Dave, the family, everybody that's there. Funhouse 51, if you guys are ever in the Lancaster, Palmdale area in California, or if not, just come by, go to the shop. Funhouse 51 is the best shop in the AV. So go check them out. Gundex is always right. Gundex, the collector app for Gundam TCG. Track your track your collection, track the prices, track what you guys are taking, what alt arts, if you guys are ever selling, track everything in Gundex. It's all there, and super great app, super easy to use, and it's you can't beat it. Honestly, it's the best Gundam collector app that there is. I know there's a bunch of apps out there that like to collect Gundam and have all these TCG player affiliations, but Gundex is the top tier of that. Dueling Guard and Dual Spec, right, are sponsors for our TCG accessories. Go buy some mats, go buy some dice, go buy deck boxes, everything. Use code Midnight TCG to get 10 to 15% off your purchases every single time you shop there. And then Sortilog. Sortilog is a new app that I built, and I'll be putting that out in a video probably tomorrow or the next day. That's going to be launching here at the end of the month, coinciding with the GDO5 release. But it's going to be awesome. You guys are going to love it. Sortilog is the best competitive TCG app there is out there, period. I cannot state that enough. So you guys will learn more about Sortilog here soon. But that's basically all I got. These are all of our supporters. Thank you to everybody that supports us here at the channel, Midnight TCG. Also, everybody watching, thanks for watching always. We can't do these kinds of things without any of you guys, so I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And our channel members, I'll be starting to list them on every single video. Channel members need some more love for what they do here and how they support. So we'll be putting those up here soon. But let's go ahead and get into our first matchup, right? Let's swap that around here. Boop, one. And we'll leave that there for now. So we'll get into our matchups here. So we have 8 players here tonight. Um, 8 players here tonight. First table is Jason and Phoenix, who's played here before. And then table 2, Shin and Random Hero. Table 3, Chill Factor and Pink Jedi, a previous winner. And then Fernando and Ben at table 4. So we're going to have a pretty good night tonight. 8 players, going to be 3 rounds. And we will go ahead and start the round here now. All right, so Phoenix on the left hand side, and we have Black Star on the right hand side. So I'm still getting over being sick, but we're here and ready to go. Should probably swap his. There you go. That looks like how it should be. So the interesting thing about this local is that all of our competitors here have chosen a color, and they've all kind of committed to something. So as you can see now, our left hand side is running a white deck, and our right hand side is running a red deck. But I think we're gonna give him his big here, because although he is running Aegis, I think the more interesting card in his deck is actually, where can I find it here? Maybe I can't find it. Here we go. Providence. All right, so it looks like he has a Jin and a dual Gundam out, or two Jin, sorry. A little hard to see on his side. And we see a flat from Phoenix. So we'll see how this goes. Now, interesting to see. I really want to know like how the red and white matchup's going to be, but the white matchup to me is going to be the interesting one, because white has such a good front game with all the blockers, right? But this end game can lack sometimes. So he's going to go ahead and swing with the Jin. We're going to see a block with the flat. Looks like he's playing a stealth stratagem. Take out the flat. And we can't see what card that is. House, what's up? Jerry Mack, what's going on? Welcome to Midnight Circuit Locals tonight. So I'm interested to see, again, interested to see how the white matchup's going to be. This red deck doesn't seem to have a lot of commands to it, but looking at the deck list, but there are a lot of units. So we see another flat from Phoenix, and he's going to get and pass turn there. So we see a pair on the unknown red card. That makes it a 4-3. That's Isaac Jewel. And that is a Din. Not something you see every day. Din. All right, so he's going to go ahead and take care of the EX base. And he's going to pass turn there, opting not to swing with the Jin. Isaac Jewel is one of those Zaf pilots you wanted to see in decks early on, but you didn't really get to see them because, you know, people that were Zaf believers in the beginning were fighting their hardest against, you know, Wing and 1 Year War and things like that. So a lot of these Zaf cards have not seen the play that they probably should have at this point, but it is what it is. So he does play a Gamao. That is a base that gives something breach when tapped. And we do see a dual Gundam, or sorry, Aegis Gundam MA mode with an Atherin. And he's going to go ahead and swing that. Looks like he's swinging at shields, trying to bait a block. And as we see, our player on the left hand, Phoenix, has a bunch of blockers. We did know that this white deck was going to be stacked with the blockers. However, again, you know, how many of those do you put in and you see some worth out of? So he's gonna do the one attack into the flat and pass turn. So we see him opt to not swing his other two units. Ryan, what's up? Yeah, GTO5 list. I believe the full list is gonna be out at the end of this week. They're gonna release the full list. And then I want to say starting next week we'll start to see the alt arts being dropped out. And they always wait till they get the full list out before they hit the alt art. So, all right. So let's see what Phoenix has. He is not in a hole per se, but it is, again, you know, I want to see what the white's gonna do here. Now, for this event, I did require everybody to submit deck lists. Normally, the deck lists are submitted here and there. Like, I'm not too much of a stickler on you must have your deck list in prior to and all that. But people do submit them most of the time, and I get them and I can look through them. This event, I vetted all the decks to make sure they were all monocolor. So I have every single one of these deck lists, and we can also do a video about them, you know, post locals. But this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be an interesting one. So it looks like he's thinking, trying to see what he's gonna do here. He is at level 6 now. And it's hard. It's hard to you know, you can swing into these units with the Rick Diaz or the Lifrith, but it's almost guaranteed a trade, you know? So we see an Archangel. He's searching, possibly for a pilot. Ooh, total number of alt arts. I don't know. I have the number, but I can get back to you on that. So we do see a Sword Strike and Hawk of Endymion, Mulafluga, Link. So he's gonna swing. He's gonna bounce the Jin, and looks like he's swinging into the MA mode and destroying that. So that's a good. I'd say that's a smart play there. Smart play. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull that up for you, Ryan. And with this being the first anniversary set, it's gonna go crazy. Because they have these new link rares, we have what is it, 14, 16 SPs. We have 5 LR plus pluses. gonna be nuts. Okay, so it doesn't say how many alt arts they're gonna be, but there's usually one per LR and a couple rares. So it's gonna be weird though because they have these new link rarity. Um, so there's gonna be a lot. I can't even put a good number on it, honestly. All right, so we see a Jin Commander type come out. That is the unit that links with Rao. Sorry, that is a Guai's commander type. So we see Blackstar. He's putting units out, but not necessarily swinging them. Um, I want to say in hopes of not destroying his own, but we do have the Gamao, so it's like, are we? We got to use that breach, you know? So Phoenix still on the defensive, right? He has the Archangel out, but again, not swinging anything in there. All right, so we see an Ale Strike and we see Soletta Mercury. So we are bouncing the commander type. What do we do about the base here? Do we go after the base? Restand? He'd have to burn his EX if he was going to do that. Looks like a passive turn. All right, so Blackstar is up now. He is at level 6. So we are one level away from possibly seeing a Providence. Tapping 3 for a dual Gundam. Or it could be a Buster Gundam. And we see Isaac Jewel come out. That is going to be a Link. So I believe his effect is to search. What's he going to do with that, though, is going to be the question. And the, what is that? That is a Din. That is another Din. He has 2 cards in hand. Sorry, that's from the search. So you do play it off search. Now, is he going to get aggressive here? Is the question, right? He's played these units. They've been sitting there. Is he going to get aggressive and try to take out that Archangel, or get past one of these blockers? I mean, the blockers are just sitting there. They're not really necessarily threatening anything. But it looks like he's going to pass turn. So Phoenix can start to go on the offensive if needed. But Blackstar having the Zaft wall built, didn't think I'd be saying that at any point in my Gundam TCG career. However, Zaft wall is now a thing. So what's Phoenix gonna do with this, right? Because um, you can start swinging, but then you give up your base and shield area. He's kind of at a hard spot, right? Black Star has to be building towards something because the way that he's built the board, it's not threatening but threatening. Um, but also going wide without any offense. What do we think? What do we think is going to happen here? All right, so we see plays a silver bullet. Now he goes for the base, restanding with Soletta. So Gamao is gone. And you would think a blocker deck isn't going to have this much problem, but with no offense from Black Star's side, he's having somewhat of an issue, keeping pace with the aggression. All right, so Lifrith going to shields. That is another Gamao. What a break out of shield area. So we see two for a flat. So we are in blocker hell on one side. Two more to restand the Ale Strike. 3 cards in hand, and it looks like he's passing turn. So now let's see what Black Star can do. We are at level 7, so this could be the Providence turn. I'm hoping this is the Providence turn. I definitely want to see some Providence action here. So 2 resources up. Let's see what happens. So we see 3. For that is a Legao with a Atherin link. How does that benefit us here? Let's see. I'm pretty sure Legao does ping once it starts swinging. And we see a commander type with a Rao. So he's gonna get his Gamao out of trash. And it looks like he's going to rest the commander type and swing. So let's see what Phoenix has in rebut to that. This is the combination of cards that you definitely don't see very often. So we see the flat with the block. And on action, he's going to use the Gamao, which is crazy, and gave that breach. So here's the Jin swinging. And he's going to play Graceful Demeanor. What's he bouncing here? I'm assuming the Jin and possibly the Din. So the Jin goes. Jin comes back. That's a Din that he's pointing at with the pilot. So Din and Jin back to hand. So he burns his EX with that one. Now does Blackstar keep swinging? He's going to replay the Jin and pass turn. All right, now let's see what the blockers can do. Essentially, he's got only what, 2 cards in hand, 3 cards in hand now, so you'd want to start taking. Yeah, Gundam needs to come up with some better names. I think it's just this Zaft archetype that has all the weird names, honestly. Um, but hey, that's just me. So we see another silver bullet come down, the swinging of the Ale Strike. Looks like he got a pilot out of shields. Silver bullet to shields. Another pilot out of shields. And looks like he just went full aggression on that one. So does he have a link for the win? So spending 2 to restand Ale Strike. Spending 3 for another silver bullet. His board is now full. And I smell the end of the Zaft here because there's just too many blockers, honestly. Even with some breach action. So that is a Yakendu he just put down. Pumping up something. Looks like he's going to pump the Legao. So that's a Lifrith gone. It's a silver bullet gone. Do we see Providence? Can I see a Providence today? I think he's still deciding. I'm not sure how many cards he has in hand, but we'll have to see what he chooses to do. So we see Commander type go sideways. I'm assuming into base. That's a silver bullet gone. That's a trade. We see he's that jewel come down to the Din. He's swinging on that one. Does he stabilize? That would be crazy if he can stabilize here. So it looks like he's unloading the hand here and passing turn. So it looks like Black Star probably just gave him the game. So we see Akira on the silver bullet, and that's going to take the base. And he's swinging for game. Does he have a response? And we see no response. So that's going to be game win for our white player, Phoenix. And the interesting Zap deck puts up a good fight, I'd say. I'd say that was a lot better than people are going to give him credit for. So I'm going to say Zaft Zaft is good. A lot of funny names, but Zaft is good. So that's going to be the end of round one. Let's go ahead and see. There we go. All right. Okay, so round one winners Phoenix, who we just seen with his all white. Pink Jedi guy is a winner. Shin and Ben. Ben actually had a unforeseen bye round because his opponent did not show up today. So we do see the bye. And then our losers are Jason, Fernando, Random Hero, and Chill Factor. But we still have two more rounds to go, and we will see how that goes. So we'll take a quick, short break, intermission, let everybody get their drinks and snacks, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back with round two. This is going to be a good game. We have brothers. So I think this is gonna. I personally, I'm gonna say this is gonna be a good game. We have two brothers playing against each other here at Midnight Circuit Locals. What could be better than that? So again, let's go ahead and go over our matchups for this round. All right, we have Phoenix versus Pink Jedi Guy, Ben versus Shin, which you are watching now, Chill Factor versus Jason, and Fernando versus Random Hero. And Fernando is the one who did not show up, so Random Hero will most likely get his buy round as of now. So, with that being said, Let's go ahead and let them get set up here, and then we will start the round. All right, everybody ready? Let's go ahead and do it. As far as how many deck colors we have today, I believe we only have 4. I think we only have four colors being played: green, red, white, and blue. All right, so we see on our left hand side, we see green. Let's go ahead and change this up here. And it looks like the Weenie Factory is in business. And it looks like we see white on the right hand side. Let's go ahead and give him the correct. There we go. All right, so he's swinging with the snake eyes. We have 2 Zaku 2s out. We see a block. And we see 2 swings to shields, mowing them down already. This is brother on brother crime. Weenie Factory. Yeah, I'm gonna coin that term now. We got the Weenie Factory brewing today. And we see a Gundam Heavy Arms come down. Do we see a wing matchup here? So Lefrit's gonna go into Zaku. And we see turn A and a what is that card? Kapool. Cain and Abel fight. I like that. That's good. So we see Zaku going to shields. He gives him the Lauren. Heavy arms into shields. And we see a desert base come down. So can our white player come back from this? All right, so we see passive turn. Turn A is an interesting that's an interesting deck to have run right now. Especially when white, like that's not something that you see normally. Um so definitely good. I'd say definitely something that I'm interested in here. So we see Lefrit swinging into the Zaku, taking care of that. We see a Ale Strike link with Kira, bouncing the heavy arms. He's going to swing into the base, get rid of that pesky desert base. Kapool, ooh, gives him a char. And turn A. Swinging, not swinging? Let's see. He's going to swing. All right. And we see another desert base. Jesus. Honestly, turn A is one of those like it's like one of those spice cards you put in a deck. If you guys watch my latest video, I faced a red white deck with a bunch of turn A cards that was honestly very good. And it was mostly white, a little bit of red, had some curios, had some burn in there. and we told him to add in the G Quux, the suppression G Quux. And honestly, like turn A is good. Like you're forced to run into it no matter what. So if you don't have a deck that has breach or can -2 attacks, something like that, like turn A can really punish you by being out. So he's gonna burn his EX for the Zeong Link. He gets his Arms of Exodia. And where's he swinging? He's swinging into Ailstrike, okay. And now there's Exodia's head. Yeah, actually, that's one of the few alts I don't have is turn A. I just never came across them, honestly. But turn A is just one of those cards that like you can throw in something and it'd be really good. You don't even need the pilot. You just need like one or two level 5 turn A's. All right, so we see a passive turn, nothing but tokens on the field, and I'd say somewhat of a tempo swing here, where we thought Ben was getting rushed down. He actually stabilized and forced his brother to run into him. So we do see turn A now with the Lauren on link that is going to bounce something. So one of the arms is gone. And Ben's actually in a good spot right now. Interesting to see though. How is how does most people use the Kapul, right? A lot of people like to use Kapul in the aspect that every time they're swinging, they're drawing, they're doing their overflowing affection. Um, I don't, I see the benefit and I don't at the same time, but we do see Kira pair on the Kapul. So it looks like he's going to go into the head -2. Yep. So there goes Exodia's head, gone. He's going to spend the resource to draw. Kapul is good for mid to late game. I would say you're getting your best use out of Kapul in the early game. And we see turn A go into the base. What does he do about the other turn A? Does he use it? Does he not use it? What do we think? It is not the blocker turn A, so. And we're going to swing for shields here. That is a Shenlong, baby Shenlong, passive turn. So I'd say Shin here is on the back foot. What do we do about this now? He's got 2 shields. He basically loses next turn if he can't stabilize. So Kapul, or sorry, the arm going into shields. We see a Char's Gelgoog come out. He's going to ditch the Zaku for the Char. Yeah, he would have to double link here. And we see Gelgoog go into turn A, and we see a Snake Eyes come down. So I think he's banking on something in his shield area here. But looks like turn A really turned it around. You're right. Let's see what happens here. And Zaku 2 out of shields and Kapul for the win. Ben wins the Battle of Brothers here at Midnight Circuit Locals. I like it. Great use of the white color, I think. Great use of the turn A. I think that's a really cool deck. All right, so they are done. Let's go ahead and go to table 1 and see what Pink Jedi Guy and Phoenix are up to. So Pink here with the green, and we know Phoenix is still on white. The crazy thing here is, so we have a Zaku 2 and a bird mode, and we see Lefrith and Silver Bullet. So Pink, here's the Wing Gundam Link. That's going to hurt. Phoenix has only 3 shields left. And we see Peace Million come down. Of course, he's playing in a wing deck. Yeah, yeah. I believe there's some spice to this wing deck, if I remember the deck list correctly. So it looks like wing is swinging right now. Question is it going into the Lefrith or just straight into shields? So we see a block by the Silver Bullet. And he's going to heal 2 with the Peace Million. And the shield area card from the breach was another Silver Bullet. And it looks like he's going to pass turn there. So Phoenix at level 6, somewhat on the back foot, but we'll see how that has. He has spice in all his decks. That's true. He is a spicy deck builder, Mr. Pink Jedi Guy. So again, green versus white matchup here. What looks to be a wing deck on the left-hand side, and we do know, oops, all blockers on the right-hand side. But what is he going to come up with here? Because let's just look at our board state, right? Lifrith by himself. We have a bird mode and a Zaku standing, a wing with 5 HP left. He's gonna have to link it out here. If white doesn't pull Kira. Yeah, if there's no Kira link here, I agree. The game is probably on the green player side. But we'll see. We will see. So we see 6 resources. That is an aerial rebuild with a Soletta Mercury. He's going to get an unforeseen out of trash. Looks like he's going into the wing with the unforeseen. So let's see. Did he save himself a turn, though, is the question. Do we think he saved himself a turn? So we do see another bird mode, so he's ramping. Path to victory or defeat. I don't think it was fruitful. Oh, sorry, it was fruitful. It was the bird mode. Chancho, what's up? What's going on? And welcome to Circuit Locals. Yeah, thanks. We had to spice it up. Had to do something different here. Gundam TCG content is has gotten stale, so monocolors makes people think. So bird mode into shields gets blocked by the Lifrith. Saku 2 going into shields. That is a Mulafluga. No burst there. And a Pink Jedi guy having 2 cards in hand. And that is a EB card. I have no idea what name it is. But that is a 4 AP, 3 HP. And it looks like he's put into use the EB. So there's the spice that we were looking for. So Ale Strike and Kira Link. Here we go. So bounce the EB weenie. Get that out of here. Let's see. That rebuild has 2 HP left. Green Roselle. Yep, that's true. Green Roselle. 2 HP left there. All right, that's going to go into the Zaku. He's going to keep his Lifrith up. Does he take out the Peace Million? Because in this case, you'd kind of want to at least get through the base if you can't keep your heavy hitter on the board, and he does. And we see another flat from hand and passive turn. So Phoenix holding his own against the Green Wing Menace. So let's see. What does Pink Jedi Guy have up his sleeve today? All right, looks like he's swinging with the bird mode. We see flat to block. Ooh, incoming wing. Maybe. He is there. There it is. There's the devil. And wing 0 to take out the Lifrith and the flat. Tactical wing 0 incoming. All right, so how do we see Phoenix respond? He's got 3 cards in hand. Pink Jedi guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shields left. And we have a high maneuver wing 0 about to go ham on his shield area. Do we see this turn in his favor at all? All right, lots of resources. I believe we're at 10 now, or 9. There's not a lot that can happen though. You know, he could swing for the fences here, and Wing Zero could just even the playing field. Uh, I doubt he has a second one in hand, but hey, you never know. We know one card in his hand is the Green Roselle. But what could the other ones be? And then what is Phoenix holding on to? Is the different question. So we see one for an Archangel. Okay, I like that move. He takes his last shield though. Graceful demeanor. Maybe. So he's going to go into shield area with the aerial rebuild. That's a wing out of shields. That is a Rickdom out of shields. We see a Kira Ailstrike link. And yeah, he's going to go into shields, burst a Peace Million, restand it, and then passive turn. So actually, I would say Pink Jedi guy here is in somewhat of a hole. Unless he has another link. Ooh, we see Ultron and Chang. Oh, goodness. All right, so that'll completely change the landscape of this game. He's going to do 5 damage to the fresh Ale Strike. I'm pretty sure that's going to be it right there. So Ultron swinging for base. Oh, swinging into the Ale Strike. Breaching. Clearing. And 0 for game. God. Wing always has it. Wings always got it. Oh, goodness. All right, so that'll do it for this game. There's one more table playing. Let's go ahead and head to table 3. Where we see red on red. So Black Star on our left and Chill Factor on our right. That is a Sananju. And we know Zaft Providence. So let's see. Let's look at the board state. Black Star with nothing on board. Chill Factor with the Exia, Sayla's light type gun cannon, and a Sananju link. So that is a Yakandu out of shields. Sananju taking out the Yakandu. But if you look at the board state here, Black Star had him down. It's got him down to 1 base, no shields. Can he pull off the upset here though? Because the board is kind of a little stacked here. So he's tapping a lot. That is a Providence and Atherin. So not a link. And he's gonna pass turn. So it doesn't look highly in his favor at this point. So Exia to shields. Ooh, he bursts a Vesalius. Sananju to base and gun cannon. And he had a link in hand just in case. So chill factor with the win. Let's go ahead and mark that for them. All right, so that'll do it for round 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at our standings. So Pink Jedi Guy with the current first place. Ben with the turn A deck, second place. Shin, Phoenix, Chill Factor, and Random Hero all with 1 win apiece. And then Fernando and Black Star at 0. So this is pretty interesting, I'd say, so far. It's pretty good. I won't say that this tournament is over, though. I really think that this white turn A deck may have the shot. May have the shot. So let's go ahead and pair our last round. And we will see in the finals Pink Jedi Guy versus Ben and his turn A deck. Phoenix versus Shin, Chill Factor and Random Hero, and then Fernando and Black Star. We will see how that goes. All right, so let's take a quick break. Let's get everybody set up, and we'll be back with the final round. All right, so we have our final round set. As you guys have seen, it's going to be green wing versus white turn A blockers. Um, Pretty excited about how this is going, right? Monocolor is something that changes the landscape. It makes you think, makes you deck build differently. It really brings out everybody's creativity in the Gundam TCG. I've done other tournaments like archetype based tournaments, color lock, pilot lock, things like that. But monocolor tournaments is just a spicy little way to get rid of the normalcy of Gundam and kind of get into a new environment, a new type of gameplay. You know, running the battle royale events, everybody's been loving those, but nobody liked 2v2 before that. So it's like it's one of those things that makes you think a little different. So I appreciate everybody watching and showing up for this. Of course, everybody in the Midnight TCG community Discord has been talking about this for weeks, and it's been really fun to kind of go over and talk about and brainstorm and deck build and all of that. So I appreciate everybody in the Midnight TCG community Discord server. If you guys aren't in that, please go to the description in this video below, join the Discord, subscribe to the channel first of all. And we're in there constantly. We're playing games. We're talking about the upcoming band list, right? We're doing a bunch of stuff. So um, there's a bunch of things that you guys can do and come and join us in. We do tournaments every 2 weeks, and it's been fun. So again, thanks to all of our sponsors, right, and our partners here at Midnight TCG, Misfit Games, Funhouse 51, my local shop, Gundex, Duel and Guard, Dual Spec. Please use code Midnight TCG for 10 to 15% off, depending on which one you go to. At those great products, the Mech Effects dice. Amazing, amazing quality. I love those things so much. And then Sorty Log. Sorty Log, I'll be putting a video out later. It is a app that I built for community and competitive gameplay in Gundam and analytics. So you guys are gonna love that. It's really awesome. I've been working really hard on that one. So Sorty Log coming soon, available to the masses probably in the next week or so to coincide with the GDO5 release. Um, so let's go ahead and get to it. We'll get to our last and final round. All right. So again, on the left hand side, we have Pink Jedi Guy with the green, and on the right hand side, we have Ben with the white. So white turn A. Really want to see this deck fully go, um, all out here. I don't have the turn A graphics, so we're just gonna skip that one today, sadly. But of course, we do have the wing, and he starts off with a Zaku 2. I'd say typical. Do you have video of the archetype tournament? I do not. Those kind of tournaments were done at my local shop on our one-off kind of random days. So no archetype tournament gameplay videos up, but we could definitely do that. Again, here at Midnight Circuit locals, it's definitely something that we're looking into also. But monocolor felt like the easiest thing to slip into first off. All right, so board state Rick Dom, Zaku 2. He's already taken the EX base. And then we see Demi Garrison and a Graze. So the weenies are out to play. But I want to see how aggressive we're going to be here. Does the turn A deck have the aggression to keep up and put the wing player on its toes, or does it not? So Graze is going to go into Zaku 2, it looks like. What is the response from Pink Jedi Guy? All right, so Zaku 2 to the trash. Demi Garrison into EX base. And we do see 2 for a Lefrith and 1 for another Graze and passive turn. So looks like Ben is stacking the board, stacking his chips here. But Rick Dom still a threat. So we see Chang here. Now keep in mind, right? Chang, if the unit has breach, it does not take damage if it has 2 or less AP. So he's basically either going to take something for free or just go straight into the shield area. And that's one of those funky rules slash effects that you hate to see. It happened to me before, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" But it's real. Yeah, as long as it has, I want to say 3 or less AP. Sorry, it does not take the damage as long as the unit has breach. So you could have a Shenlong and unforeseen something and end up taking no damage, taking the unit and breaching, and you're just taking it for free. It's kind of a nice little niche play. So he did burst an Archangel, and Pink Jedi could have put another Rick Dom out and pass turn, 4 cards in hand. So how does Ben rebut this? Does he allow the Rick Dom to stay on the board? So we see a Kapul, we see a Lauren. He's gonna bounce the active Rick Dom. I feel like in if that was me, I would have bounced the Chang. but that's just me. I don't know. Tell me if I'm right or wrong in that. So Kapool swinging into Rickdom, and he's going to use the effect on attack to draw and discard. So what is he going to discard? We see a Demi Garrison to the trash. So Grays to base. Demi Garrison to shields. That is a hero. You never want to see that. And we see Lefrit to shields. So he's moving kind of fast here. I think he understands that he's gotta beat out the wing. We see Green Rizal and a passive turn. So I think Ben sees that he's got to beat the wing shenanigans coming out, but is he going to have enough to do it? Pink Jedi guy on level 5 here with his EX resource intact. So we see bird mode. So he's in a ramp, gets another EX. We see one more for, I'm assuming, the hero. Yep. And he's going to go into the Lefrith. 2 damage there. And a Peace Million. I wonder if he could have sequenced that differently so he can get the heal from the Peace Million. But this does pose a problem for Ben because he's not going to be able to get over that 6 HP. That is going to be the hard part. So we see an overflowing affection. And he's going to get rid of the graceful demeanor. It's probably a good throwaway against this deck. So we see a Kapool and another Kapool. So dual Kapool to the board. 3 cards in hand. And passive turn. So I think it's gonna be something to see here. Pink Jedi guy on level 6 once again. But will he be able to interact with the board as needed? And we see a wing LR link with hero because wings always got it. And he's gonna go into a Kapool. Using Peace Million, so he's healing 1. Or sorry, he's only taking 1. And wing bird mode going into shields, and that's an overflowing. And that's a passive turn. So how does Ben respond? He's got to get rid of that wing. But do you focus on that? Do you go past it? We see I want to say that's a Wilhelm base. So it is down to 4 HP because he has not used an effect yet. All right, so we see an Ale Strike. Does he have the Kira? Does he have the Kira? One for the Kira. All right, we do see it. He's going to have to bounce the bird mode, which in some regard is fine because you're going to have to, you got to clear that base. But he does not have any more resources to activate the Kapul to up his base. But at this point, I mean, you just got to swing for the fences. He's got 3 shields left. So we see Ale Strike for the base. Grazed to shields. Green Rizal. We see Demi to shields. That is a wing. Kapul to shields. First contact. No burst there. Oh, it does burst. Sorry, it gives you an EX. And passive turn. So Pink Jedi guy needs a base, I'd say. Needs a base, gotta clear the Ale Strike. We'll see. This one's coming down to the wire. Coming down to the wire here. So is he able to rebut the onslaught that just happened? So he has 6 cards in hand. He is at level 8. So he is in Wing 0 territory. So we see an Ultron. So he didn't have the 0. He's going to use an EX, I'm assuming for Chang. Yep, there's Chang. And he does have the base. Wow. Peace Million to the board. Dang. Wings always got it. Wings always got it. 4 cards in hand still. So Ultron into Kapul with the 5 damage going on Ale Strike and breaching. Wing going into Demi Garrison gives him a Lauren. All right. Now we got a game here. All right, so Gray's all by his lonesome. He's got 4 cards in hand. Able to see hands off stream. No, I can't see their hands. What you see is what I see. So we see another Grays come down. Silver Bullet. I mean, essentially, he has to block one attack, but it's hard because that's his highest AP unit, and he's going to need that to get over this 6 HP base. So we see a bird mode. Gets his EX back. So wing going in. Presumably straight to shields, but I could see him attacking one of the grazes. Yep, graze. Shield. And does he swing the Ultron? So it'll do 5 damage minus what, 3, so it'll really do 2 damage. But he does block with it anyways. And he had the hero in hand for the win. We see no turn A, a bunch of Lorans. He's got the unicorn in hand. Damn. We were all rooting for the underdog on this one. I'm pretty sure all of us were in the same boat. Can Ultron destroy a Silver Bullet regard? It can't. It can't destroy it unless it's being blocked by it. Yeah, we were all rooting for turn A. Nothing against Pink Jedi guy, but we were all rooting for turn A. But to hold the hero for the straight win, knowing he was going to use the Silver Bullet, that's nasty. All right, and then we do still have a game going on table 3, so let's go ahead and head there. Okay, so on the left side, we see Random Hero. And on the right side, we see Chill Factor. So Kshatriya is there. Let's go ahead and get a Kshatriya out here. And it looks like it's really blurry, so I don't know what it looks like. But I believe that's a Forbidden Gundam, but if I'm not mistaken, we just saw a Epion out there. So 4 shields on Chill Factor side. Looks like no shields left for Random Hero. But he does have a GM and a Forbidden blocker out. Looks like it's paired. So we see improved technique on the gym. When's the next non-monocolor tourney? So we're gonna put a vote in the Discord as to when the next tournament is. We were talking about it earlier, so it may be, it's gonna be after GDO5. How long after is gonna be one thing. So we'll talk about that in the Discord after the tournament. There'll be polls up. So we see Tall Geese come out and passive turn. So Chill Factor's not messing with the Forbidden Gundam here. But he also needs a second swing to get over it. So he would be swinging for game here if he had a second one. But 2 cards in hand, it's kind of hard to see the line. And he's just going to go ahead and pass turn. So Random Hero Swinging with the tall geese. And that is a Rolula. Judo. Welcome, Judo. That is a Rolula. That damage will go on one of the 2 units. It's going to go on the Forbidden. Sorry, the tall geese. All right, so what does Chill Factor do? We see, ooh, Sananju Full Frontal Link. And that'll be for game. All he needed was 1. Nice. So red wins that matchup. Red versus blue. And that will do it for tonight. So our final standings tonight. Pink Jedi Guy with the win of our first and not only monocolor tournament that we're going to have. Phoenix with his white blocker deck taking 2nd place. Chill Factor with the red deck taking 3rd. Ben with the turn A white deck 4th. Shin with his green deck. Jason with his Zaft, all Zaft red deck. And then Random Hero with the Tall Geese Epion deck. And our player that did not show up in last place. I think that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. I think that's cool. I don't know about you guys, but that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be a staple. At least every set we'll do a monocolor or something. But that was fun, and I'm glad everybody got into it. I'm glad we hyped it up in the Discord, and we'll be doing more things like this. Monocolor, archetype, maybe show based. Maybe you have to stick to one show. I don't know. We'll vote on it in the Discord. If you guys aren't in the Discord, please join it. In the description, there's a link below. Join the Discord, hop in, be a part of this, because we're only going to grow bigger. There's only going to be bigger tournaments, and better pricing and all of that. So, but that's going to do it for me today. Again, our tournament days will be changing probably to Saturdays. So if you guys have wanted to join and Tuesdays just don't work for you, probably going to do a Saturday or a Sunday from now on, because my work schedule changed, and that's going to be the best for, I think, me and everybody else. So we should make it so that we can't run the same color back to back. I'm down with that. I'm also down with a non-meta tournament, however that shakes out. Like no Amros, no Mikas, something. I don't know. But we can get creative as much as we want. This is our channel. We're gonna do what we want here. So, winter colored band, maybe that too. So I will see you guys later. Look out for a special giveaway video in the next day or 2. We're gonna be giving something away again. New partners, new things. But I appreciate everybody watching, and I will see you guys next time at Midnight Circuit Locals. As always, subscribe to the channel, like everything, and comment below on this video what you guys thought of this tournament. So I will see you guys later. Peace out.